After some more thinking, I made a drawing of a third disc whip prototype having those changes. Time again for construction? Okay. Okay, we pick out another piece of wood that looks like disc whip number 3. A few minutes later, and here we are. Disc whip number 3 is constructed. Here's disc whip prototype number 3, which is intended to be better than disc whip prototype number 2. It has one heavier, unbraced platform centered between two more lightweight beams. It has a handle, which is more frontward from the beams, and a platform which extends less far frontward from the beams. It has a small post attached to the platform where it joins into the handle, which can stop a golf disc or flying ring from rolling backward to fall from the disc whip. At this time, I've tested this disc whip only by trying to fling some golf discs and a small flying ring to land on the floor here a few meters away. It flings. Now, that's a disc whip? During my testing, I observed 3 problems. Problem number 1. This disc whip feels too heavy, so too much force might be used just to accelerate the disc whip, leaving too little force to accelerate the golf disc or flying ring that's in the disc whip. Problem number 2. This disc whip is longer as well as heavier, and when I'm holding it, its weight is torquing it, bending it downward a bit toward the release position. I think I can solve both problems number 1 and number 2 by having it shortened a little and by having some structurally less important material removed from the center platform around the beams, and by having the platform shortened a little from back to front. Problem number 3. The handle is now too far frontward from the beams, causing this disc whip to torque downward at the back, even when a heavy disc is supported on the platform at the front. I think I can solve this problem by having the handle repositioned to where it had been at the back. Also, I think the grip on the handle would be improved by having the handle less wide from back to front, and by having the handle just a bit taller from bottom to top. So, that's not a disc whip. After some more thinking, I made a drawing of a 4th disc whip prototype having those changes. Construction again? Okay, I do it, but not now. I'm on break. Okay, we pick a piece of wood, like disc whip number 4. You get the idea. This is going to be okay. A few minutes later. Okay, number 4. Here's disc whip prototype number 4, which is intended to be better than disc whip prototype number 3. Its length is a little shorter. It has some structurally less important material removed from the center platform around the beams, and its platform is a little shorter from back to front. As a result, it feels much more lightweight. Its handle is repositioned to where it had been at the back, eliminating the torque downward at the back of the platform. And its handle is less wide from back to front and just a bit taller from bottom to top, so it has a more comfortable grip. At this time, I've tested this disc whip only by trying to fling some golf discs and a small flying ring to land on the floor here a few meters away. It flings. It's a disc whip. That's not a disc whip. That's a disc whip. That's not a disc whip. Now that's a disc whip. I've observed some other less important problems I think I can solve. But before I concern myself with those problems, I want to test how well each of these disc whips flings long distance. So far, all my testing has been short distance, and there's no use in my solving increasingly less important problems unless we can successfully use at least one disc whip prototype to do what I invented it to do, to fling a golf disc or a flying ring farther than we can throw it. I have no idea if any of these disc whip prototypes will survive long distance testing, so let's take a good look at them all together, and then it'll be time to test them. Did you like the display of the disc whips with the green background? I did it myself. Them disc whips is made from the highest quality materials known to humans in the Wild West. They's made from wood, nails, screws, and glue. And that there secret ingredient, I figure that's moonshine. They're all disc whips, and they're all not disc whips. That inventor fella's a lunatic. It's time to long distance test the disc whip prototypes. Thanks for viewing. Don't miss the next video in the disc whip flinger video series.